At the end of the day, men lie, women lie, energy don't lie. Welcome back to Naturally Lit. The sage is for good energy, and so we can receive the messages that we are seeking, that we came to hear. If you got bad juju, I don't want to talk to you, okay? Leave. Everybody wants to know the tea on astrology. Don't fear, I'm here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, astrology is very complex, but just like everything else in life. Look, I just want to teach you some astrology. I want to make it simple, straight to the point, and we can grow from there. We can get more complex as the time goes on. But I'm starting to realize that a lot of people don't understand the basics of it. And when you understand the basics, you good to go. So, your girl Novi, I got you. I'm gonna break it down for you real easy. This is gonna be a 3-part series, okay? So the first part is about astrology and just a slight little overview. The second part is gonna be about keywords, definitions, and metaphors that you can use when you talking that astrology shit, you know. The third one is gonna be me actually reading a natal chart in action. You can see how I break it down, and that's when we'll get a little bit more complex. Because at the end of the day, we all have a soul's purpose, we all have a soul's journey, but we are all searching for the same thing, and that is self-awareness. So I just wanna break it down for you real quick. You know, I'm gonna stand over here to the side. I'm gonna pop up some things over here. So yes, we're gonna learn a little bit of astrology tea. I'm so corny, yo. Now, there's a couple of myths about astrology. A lot of people think it's just bullshit. It's not, because it's actually a pseudoscience. It puts creativity and science together, which is literally what life is about, by putting art and the practicality of things together, because those are keys to self-awareness, all right? So everything is about self-awareness, and I'm gonna break it down to you real nice and easy. Get a pen and paper, grab a joint, grab a glass of wine, grab your friends, grab your extensions and start braiding your hair. Whatever you want to do, this video is for you, boo. These videos are for you so you can learn. A couple quick things about astrology. It is an ancient form. An ancient form that has been around longer than me, you, our mamas, our grandpas, our grandpas, our grandpa. It's been around so long. So for anybody to try to tell you it's bullshit, it doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. Honey, it is in our ancestors' tombs. So you cannot tell me there's no truth to that. You're really trying to sit here and tell me that queens and pharaohs and people who built pyramids, elements that are still standing till this day, thousands and thousands of years later, didn't know what they were talking about a little bit with the stars? Just a little bit? I mean, you know, yeah. If you don't believe, you can leave. You can leave. Like, you can leave. The door's right there. I think all the non-believers left already, so we're gonna go ahead and continue on with this. Now, again, these are the basics. As we start learning, we're gonna get into people's charts that we all know. Some people we love, some people we can learn lessons on what not to do from, and some people we are feeling different about but want to know what their personality is about, okay? Astrology is the studies of the stars, or like I like to say, the language of the sky. And it is about how the energies interact with the earth here. So therefore, whatever's happening down here, in astrology, they say as above, so below. This insinuates that whatever's happening in the sky above us infiltrates and influences and affects our lives down here on this planet Earth. There has to be some truth to it, because how would you know it's day? How would you know it's night? You would need the sun, you would need the moon, okay? And so you have these signs as well in your own personal astrological chart, or it's also known as a birth chart or a natal chart. Now, that is your own personalized energetic blueprint. It is what was happening in the sky, what was going on up there, what was cooking in the universe energetically. And as soon as you came out and you breathed your first of air, that is all the energy that went into you. Just think of it like a magic, you know? Like Harry Potter has to be real on some level, somewhere, somehow, somewhere. Magic and manifestation, all those things go hand in hand, okay guys? And we're gonna learn a lot here on Naturally Lit. The reason why I love astrology is because there's actual practical use for it. I'm a Taurus moon, okay? But I have a lot of energy in Scorpio. The cool thing about astrology is you can actually use it. You can practically and sensibly use it for your life. You could use it for your health, and you could use it for your wealth, your career, your friends, your husbands, your wifeys, your boyfriends and girlfriends. You can literally use it for your business. Anything that you create has an astrological natal chart, okay? That's why when you go into rooms and people are like, oh yeah, this the vibe, this the vibe. This is not the vibe. I just really feel my energy is off. Like my energy is so off today. Guys, we don't just say this stuff for no reason, okay? Think about it. Solar system, soul system, okay? We call our celebrities stars. Okay, your birthday comes every time the sun makes its solar return back to its original place when you were born. That's your birthday. That's why we celebrate it, okay? So those are just a couple quick disclaimers. Tell you a little bit about astrology. It's old as shit. We have a lot more to learn, so there is no right or wrong in astrology. It's just if the person's well studied and they understand and respect the art form and language, that's what makes a good astrologer. So as we go through this, you can start with your birth time, your birth location, and of course, your birth date. You can go to sites like astro.com or Astro Cafe. The links are in my description below. You can get your natal chart out, and you can go along with this with me while I'm explaining it to you, okay? Because you just gotta get used to seeing it. And the more you see it, the more you're able to read it. So I'm sure as you guys know, there are 12 signs. The 12 signs correspond to the 12 constellations in the sky, okay? This is ancient history. So I'm going to go in order. And this is why anytime you're online or anytime you see a breakdown of the signs, it's in order this way for a reason, okay? Everything is set up in life for a reason. The signs are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Those are the 12 signs. Now, this chart right here is that natal chart I was talking about, which is the energetic blueprint of when you were born. Not even twins have the same natal chart. For you to have the same natal chart as somebody, you have to be born at the same exact time in the same exact location. You can have similarities with someone, but you will not have the same exact path as them. All right, so now you know 12 signs, and I'm sure you're probably dropping your sign in the comments below. But before we get there, I gotta let you know there's a lot more to you than just your sun sign. There are a lot of other planets involved, and the ones that we're counting right now, there are about 10, with other asteroids and other celestial planets that we also count, depending on what kind of astrologer you are. You ever watch a movie or TV show and you think about the theme of what you're watching? Everything in life has a theme. The dope thing about astrology is that there are themes in life and we all go through them in a different energetic way, but nonetheless, we still all go through them. That's why every single person has all 12 signs and all 10 planets in their chart. They're just dispersed differently. And that's what makes us differently internally and obviously therefore externally. And that's why you can have such harmonious, beautiful relationships, or you can have really fucked up, insecure, neurotic relationships. At the end of the day, men lie, women lie, energy don't lie. So now you know there are 12 signs. Let's go over the 12 houses. Now, when I explain each of the houses, they go in correlation of how I just listed the signs. So the signs go from Aries, number 1, to Pisces, number 12. And that's gonna be in the same correlation with the houses, AKA the different stages and themes in our lives that we have to go through so we can complete our soul's journey. Each of the 12 houses have a ruling sign that go and correspond with that house. And each of those signs have a ruling planet. All right, dope. Now you know there are 12 signs and 12 houses. Now we have 10 planets. Let's match up those planets to those signs and those houses. So again, I'm gonna talk in order of houses from 1 to 12. And that's gonna go in order with the signs from Aries to Pisces. When I talk about the planet that rules the sign, I'm talking about the energy that that planet is composed of. And that's why it's correlated with a specific sign. And as you guys will see over time, each sign has an archetype. And that archetype is a part of the overall story. Just think of the horoscope as a puzzle piece. Every piece matters. Now I'm going to match up the signs with the houses and each of the ruling planets. In addition to that, I'm going to give you 2 keywords and a question so that you can think about each sign and the way that their energy is expressed. The first house is ruled by Aries. Aries' ruling planet is Mars. Mars, you can think about these 2 words with Mars: energy and passion. I would ask the question, where does the person direct their passion? Or where does the person use their energy? Or how does the person use their energy? The second house is ruled by Taurus. Taurus's ruling planet is Venus. And the 2 words you can associate with Venus are love and self-worth. What type of person, place, or thing does this person love? Or how does this person find self-worth? The third house is ruled by Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is one of the planets that rules 2 signs, by the way. You can think about Mercury in Gemini this way. How does this person communicate? What does this person like to think about? The 4th house is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The 2 words you can associate the moon with are emotional and intuitive. I would ask a question, what is this person's emotional quality in life? What is this person intuitive about? Or how is this person intuitive? The 5th house is ruled by Leo. Leo's ruling planet, although it's a star, is the sun. The 2 words you can associate with the sun are creativity and willpower. I would ask, in what way is this person creative? In what area of life does this person want to exert all their willpower in? The 6th house is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Ding, ding, ding. That's the 2nd planet. Now, this is Mercury on a higher octave. So in this case with Mercury, the 2 words I would associate Virgo with are attention to detail and wellness. So the question I would ask is, where does this person pay the most attention to detail to? Or maybe they lack paying attention to detail to. Or I would ask, how does this person maintain their well-being, their mental wellness and their physical wellness? The 7th house is ruled by Libra. Libra is ruled by 2nd planet, ding, Venus. This is Venus's other home, all right, is Libra. So in this case, the 2 words I would associate Libra with are peace and indecisive. So some of the questions I would ask are, where does this person want peace? Or where does this person act the most peaceful? Or where does this person, or how does this person act most indecisive? I hope you guys are with me so far. I hope this is making sense. And if it's not as simple as I'm hoping it is, please let me know in the description and I will definitely try to simplify it even more. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. Shout out to my Scorpios. Ew. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Another planet showed up. Mars is ruling another planet. It is the higher octave and its co-ruler is Pluto. Now, it's very controversial if Pluto is doing a thing or if it's not doing a thing, but as a Scorpio, it is definitely doing its thing. And we'll talk about that in another video. Mars, remember in Aries, was just pure energy and pure passion. Mars in Scorpio is directed energy, directed passion. It's more steadfast. And Pluto is the planet of power, magic, destruction, rebirth. Mars in Scorpio is refined energy and passion, intensity and power. So the 2 words I would use for Scorpio are power and trauma. So the questions I would ask are, where does this person feel most powerful or powerless in their life? Where is this person's traumas in their life? Because Scorpio is the sign of karma, and karma is the shit you didn't deal with in the past, and it's coming back to get your ass. So you gotta deal with it now in this lifetime. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. Sagittarius' ruling planet is Jupiter. The 2 words I would associate with Jupiter: philosophy and the golden key. I'll explain that. So the question I would ask is, what is this person's philosophy on life? And the second question would be because a lot of people associate Jupiter with the good luck planet, but I associate it with the golden key. Where is the golden key to your life so you can unlock that bitch and open it so Jupiter can bless your ass? The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn's ruling Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn. So the 2 words I would associate: discipline and legacy. So the question I would ask is, where does this person have discipline or lack discipline? And what kind of legacy does this person want to leave behind? The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. Aquarians are ruled by Uranus, and its older ruler is Saturn. But for this video's sake, we're just going to stick with Uranus or however you want to say it, okay? The 2 words I would associate Uranus: originality and rebellion. So the questions I would ask is, where does this person seek their originality? Or how does this person seek to be seen as original? Or what does this person like to rebel against? Where does this person like to test the waters? The 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and its co-ruler is Jupiter. The 2 words I would associate Pisces with are imagination and delusion. Where is this person most imaginative? How is this person most imaginative? And how is this person delusional? In what area of life is this person delusional in? So that is the first video. That is just a breakdown, a very simple, basic, baddie breakdown of astrology tea here on Naturally Lit. Stay tuned for more videos.